When you come close to these animals, you know you're close to something amazing and something extraordinary. Going down on the dock and seeing them was like, wow. When they come up close to you and look at you, it took my breath away. Dolphins are very different than any other experience that we relate to on an everyday basis. And because of that, it's like having a blank board and a place to begin. For the first time in our life, people weren't saying, tell me about Joe's surgery or what happened to your kid. Instead of talking about those things, I was talking about dolphins.
I wanted other people in my situation to feel exactly the way I felt. That there was hope, that there was future, that there might be something that would make their child laugh again.
Okay, everybody, this is a beautiful day.
Welcome everybody to Island Dolphin Care. Island Dolphin Care is a 5-day therapy program, and what we do is programs for kids with special needs and challenges, from Down syndrome to Asperger's, you name it, we've seen it. We're working with up to 8 families a week in our program typically, from all over the world.
Good morning!
My name is Dina Hoagland, and I'm the director of Island Dolphin Care.
I'm Peter. I'm the general manager and co-founder with Dina. Absolutely thrilled to have you guys here with us this week. We're going to have a great week.
All right, guys, let's go downstairs so you guys can see some dolphins.
Island Dolphin Care is a magical place.
We have a remarkable program that involves using the excitement and motivation of being with dolphins to help people find positive outcomes in their lives.
Our therapy program is a 2-part component. Each child has a classroom setting and a water session every day, Monday through Thursday.
We're getting ready to start the swim.
Let's go have some fun.
Both of you.
Families will come in early in the morning. Some children and families have their swim first, and then some have their classrooms first, and then we flip-flop.
I'm Jordan Wallen. I am a dolphin trainer, and I work with Island Dolphin Care Therapy Program. Typical sessions, about 20 minutes in the water with kids and their families on the dock.
They get to use toys in the water like balls and a big rubber ducky. They get to get pushed around. They get to kiss the dolphins, give the dolphins hugs.
Therapists come down with a plan with whatever the kids are working on in the classroom, and we just translate that to dolphin and water and a lot of fun.
Water is very therapeutic. Children love to play in their bath. They love warm water. It's so relaxing and it's so enjoyable. And dolphins bring out the best of people.
So the basis of our program is that idea that dolphins are a motivating reason to achieve the different goals that the kids are working on. My name is Kimberly Severance, and I'm a therapist here at Island Dolphin Care.
Hi there, my name's Eli. I'm one of the therapists here at Island Dolphin Care. Hi, Squirt. That's Squirty.
My name is Art Cooper, and I work here at Island Dolphin Care with Squirty, and we've been working together for a long time.
Those dolphins, they are just wonderful with the children. They know how to work with each particular child. If it's an older child, they can be a little bit more aggressive in the way they work with them. If it's a baby, they are so gentle with them that to see it It's just, it's amazing to me.
Could I have a kiss? Oh, a little one. Really? You're gonna stand me up? Thank you, Mama.
These two doors right here are classrooms.
Hi, Michael. You're excited, right? Yes.
In the classroom, the whole therapy aspect of it is just to be able to get the children to use their words more, to work on motor and sensory skills.
Good job. Can you touch it for me? Make sure I got it right. Good job.
Also, socializing. If they have a hard time socializing with their siblings or friends, it's great because the family is in there right there with them.
You want to touch it? I think he wants you to do it. Yeah.
So we'll only work with 8 families in a week so that therapists and all of the staff have enough time to really spend with a family quality time. Yes, the dolphins are a huge part of the therapy, but what is going to help you is the methods that we use here, and it's the entire experience that's therapeutic at Island Dolphin Care.
Thank you. I like how you reached. Nice job, Chloe. Nice job.
Hey! Families that have special kids that are disabled or have special needs are also disabled.
I'm Bart Kersies, and my son Adam has got problems with his genome, and that affected his brain.
I am Richard van Eck, and I am Opa of Adam. And since he is born, he has taken over a big part of my life.
You have your normal life, everything goes the way that you planned it, and then in one moment your life stops and you have to deal with some very difficult choices.
And things are often more difficult than with a typical child.
I'm David. Kiefer.
Debbie and Chloe. Chloe has a condition called ring 14 chromosome. There are probably 60 to 100 cases known in the world. And one of the biggest problems with ring 14 is very, very difficult to control epilepsies.
My name is Vilma Vera. I have a son, Michael Vera, and he has cerebral palsy.
Is that an applause for it's done?
I've changed my life completely to be with Michael.
I'm Karen Hansen, and this is my husband, Scott Hansen. Our boy, Zach, has autism. Having autism in our life is just normal. I don't know anything different than that.
And it makes it sometimes really hard for them when the rest of the world can't see it, they can't understand it.
So Island Dolphin Care, it's an amazing opportunity for everybody that walks in the door.
When we're here, the rest of the world kind of doesn't exist anymore because we just concentrate on the boys and on the family.
We hope to get good results here with the dolphins to improve him in anything that we can achieve here.
Our thought is any opportunity we can give her and him to enhance them, make them grow is very important.
Every child's different. Every family's different. Every moment I spend here is different. And we have such an incredible opportunity to make a difference in their lives.
Guess who?
Joe.
Yo, yo.
Hey, what's up? I'm out on the rant and rave with the crew.
So, how did we meet? That's a great story.
We both ended up at the University of Denver in 1970, and I was in a big class, like 300 people, and sat behind this girl, and I got up the nerve to say, hey, do you want to go out? And she said no. She went back to where she was living, and Dina was her roommate.
Then she came home one day and she said, you gotta come to my class tomorrow. I met your husband. I said, nuh-uh, no way.
And this really cute girl showed up at the general classroom building, and that was about it. We both decided to be together. We had both finished at the University of Denver.
I finished first.
Yeah, you finished first because you're smarter than I am. But I moved around a little bit. I was in Idaho with a friend helping him build his house, and I invited Dina to come up and visit. because I'd sort of planned that maybe that was where I was going to choose to live. And she came up and I proposed to her. And she said no.
That's not exactly what he said.
Well,
I said, I love you, but I can't live here.
So she left, and I was like, well, I think I need to be where she is. And so I left northern Idaho and drove in like 24 hours straight and showed up on her doorstep and fell through her screen door.
But the best part was that you said, well, if you couldn't be there, then there was no reason for me to stay.
Yeah.
And then you fell. Peter, he's the breath of my soul. I thought he was the greatest thing in the world.
We got married in 1976, and our first child, Kate, was born, and she's terrific. She's a super, super kid. Kate was 3 years old when our second child, Joe, came along in 1986. When Joe was born, our pediatrician came and put her stethoscope to Joe's chest, and her immediate response was, oh, shoot, we've got a big problem here. It sounds like a washing machine in there. And we discovered that Joe was born with a congenital heart defect, a condition called truncus arteriosus. And there's 3 different severities, and Joe's was the worst. His heart's about that big. And they've taken it out of his body to do surgery on it and put it back in his body. That Joe survived the first surgery in itself was quite a miracle. And long story short, we ended up at home in Denver.
And nobody knew that the high altitude in a combination with a cold was going to cause Joe stress, and it busted open his heart again.
Joe was scheduled for his second open heart surgery at 11 months old. And when he survived that surgery, we looked at each other and decided that we could never go home to Colorado. So we basically bailed out of our lives, and we relocated to South Florida, and we were at sea level, so Joe...
He started doing really well.
He started doing better.
And then when he was 3, we went back to the surgeon. The surgeon looked at Joe and said,
Joe needs open heart surgery number 3.
Right now.
Right now. We went to the hospital. Joe went under the knife, but Joe never woke up from his 3rd open heart.
When I walked in, you and my dad were sobbing in the middle of the hallway, and they were running Joe down the hall in a gurney, and it was one of the scariest moments of my life.
Joe had had a complete right hemisphere stroke, had lost the whole right side of his brain and parts of the left. This delightful, normal little 2-year-old boy who'd had a couple of heart procedures was now in a bed in a coma, and the doctor's telling us that Joe would never recover, and this is the worst possible thing next to death that could have possibly happened.
But I said, as long as I can hold him and carry him in my arms, that we were going to be a family and be together. And so we brought Joe home.
And Joe in a wheelchair was getting speech therapy and physical therapy, and none of it was having any really positive effect on him. So my brilliant wife decided that she was going to go try and find some place for Joe to swim. So she went looking for a public pool, and there was no public pool in Key Largo, thank goodness. And then she went to the hotels that had pools, and they said, geez, lady, out of here, you're not a guest.
So I was really depressed, and I was really angry, and I felt like nobody in the world was helping me.
And I think by some stroke of very good fortune, my wife saw a little advertisement in the local newspaper for Dolphins Plus.
I called him.
And the owner answered the phone, and the owner said, geez, lady, I'm sorry to hear about your troubles, but we don't do that here. That was enough for Dina. She started to cry, and the owner of Dolphins Plus said, geez, lady, don't cry. Next time you have a free moment,
if you're in town, come down. So I hung up the phone. It was 11:30.
And I think before he'd hung up the phone, you were walking in the front door.
No.
Almost.
Almost. And just as we arrived, this old man, he took one look at me and he went, oh no, are you the lady I just spoke to? And when he said that, I crumbled. I just started to cry. And he was like, all right, come on. And he brought us in. And then we went down on a dock that was right in front of us. And that's where we met Fonzie.
all the dolphins came over to the dock, and Fonzie came up right in front of us, and Joe giggled. And I cried. I was overwhelmed at that moment because I had not heard that giggle for a long time. Really, it was so emotional for me, that moment. And this dolphin, it appeared to me that he pushed all the others away, as if to say, this kid is mine. It was just a magical, magical moment.
And then when it was time to leave, I got really sad and I started to cry again. And the owner looks at me and he says, "Now are you crying?" And I explained what was going on and that I hadn't heard Joe laugh in a really long time and how broken our family was. And so then he said to me, "Okay, all right, well, you'll come back whenever you can, right?" And I said, "Okay," and I've never left.
Okay.
After my third open heart surgery at age 3, I was left completely paralyzed on my left side. I couldn't see out of my left eye. My left arm was frozen stiff and clenched to my chest. I had no maneuverability of my left side. I was pretty much a wreck. Doctors told my parents to stick me in an institution.
But my brilliant wife would take Joe back to the facility and started incorporating some therapy techniques into Joe's interactions with the dolphin.
Joe trusted Fonzie and wanted to play with him so badly that he would do anything to do that. And so I created Left Hand Fonzie. And I told Joe that Fonzie was a left-handed dolphin, and so if he tried to feed him with his right hand or he tried to throw a ball with his right hand, that Fonzie wouldn't play with him. And everything we did was to motivate Joe to use his left side again.
And from being fisted and with his arms stuck like this, he would come home and at night he'd be going open, close, and you could see him trying to work his hand. And finally he could open and close his hand so that he could hold a fish, and enough so that he could hold it out there for Fonzie. Joe's recovery in a year was not complete by any means, but it was pretty amazing to see how powerful the excitement and motivation of being with his new friend Fonzie was working for Joe.
And I truly believed in my heart of hearts that this was God sent. And so I made a deal and I said, okay, if this is what I get, then I'm going to give this to everybody else that needs it.
We started Island Dolphin Care in January of '97, and by March of '97, we had 4 families a week in the program.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you've had a wonderful week at Island Dolphin Care. In 1990, when I came here with Joe, it was an extraordinary moment for me. It was the most joyous experience I had had in a long, long time. In that I had the opportunity to claim my role as Joe's mother again and gave up being his nurse. And I know some of you, from talking with you this week, that you have experienced very similar things.
I could have never dreamed years ago that I would still have him at 25.
He's like this angel.
He really came to teach a lot of people a lot about life, and he's done a great job.
That's the story. That's the story. Joe's just amazing.
In designing the program, when we sat down and talked about what is Island Dolphin Care and what are we going to provide, one of the things I said was, at the end, before people go home, I want them to be able to hold their child in the water and become that parent that you want to be with your child.
Cool.
Okay. Watch your hand, Joanna.
That was amazing.
Very nice.
Everything that we do is about creating opportunities for laughter and joy.
So when you give these children a certain amount of attention,
You are so cute.
they love it. And it's like putting water on a flower.
I've seen kids screaming, crying, not wanting to get in, and by the end of the week they're pretty much holding up a dolphin with a big smile on their face.
Working with these kids has made me realize that anything is possible.
When you keep an open mind and you say the sky's the limit and you let your creativity flow, I think that that's when you start to see the biggest gains.
To see these kids just reach for the stars when they were told they couldn't is why I do what I do.
Zach has been just fantastic down here. And he just bloomed and he just started doing some things that we really didn't think he could do, and all of a sudden he was doing them.
Nice job, Zach.
Because of his autism and because of liking to stay in routine situations, bringing him here was fabulous for him. It was one of the best therapies we could have ever did.
As soon as we got here, Chloe really perked up.
And she smiles or gives you a little laugh. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
And it's been a great time.
Are we good there?
It's a wonderful thing to be able to bring Michael here and see him taking little steps and progressing. It just makes all of us excited to see him have such a wonderful time. I mean, this child is a happy boy.
All right, you got baby blues for departure? Bye, Michael.
Michael, mira para allá.
And that, that's worth all the money in the world.
Yes, I don't know how to describe that. It's so awesome to see him be happy, and it's awesome. Good. It's a victory today. It's very good.
The joy that being with the dolphins provided for them made their families closer, made them happier, and gave everybody this sense of renewal.
That's one of the reasons I keep coming back, is because I want my boys to remember these moments with each other for the rest of their life.
Island Dolphin Care is a really special place. I feel extraordinarily fortunate to have been such an integral part of it with Peter and Joe and my daughter Kate, and to know that we can impart hope, we can help be the glue that keeps families together is really an honor. We relate to on an everyday basis, and because of that, it's like having a blank board and a place to begin. For the first time in our life, people weren't saying, "Tell me about Joe's surgery," or "What happened to your kid?" Instead of talking about those things, I was talking about dolphins.
I wanted other people in my situation to feel exactly the way I felt. That there was hope, that there was future, that there might be something that would make their child laugh again.
Families will come in early in the morning. Some children and families have their swim first, and then some have their classrooms first, and then we flip-flop.
Hi, how are you? I'm Jordan Wallen. I am a dolphin trainer, and I work with Island Dolphin Care Therapy Program. Typical sessions about 20 minutes in the water with kids and their families on the dock.
They get to use toys in the water like balls and a big rubber ducky. They get to get pushed around. They get to kiss the dolphins, give the dolphins hugs.
Therapists come down with a plan.
Program typically from all over the world.
My name is Dina Hoagland, and I'm the director of Island Dolphin Care.
I'm Peter. I'm the general manager and co-founder with Dina. Absolutely thrilled to have you guys here with us this week. We're going to have a great week.
All right, guys, let's go downstairs so you guys can see some dolphins.
Island Dolphin Care is a magical place.
We have a remarkable program that involves using the excitement and motivation of being with dolphins to help people find positive outcomes in their lives.
Our therapy program is a two-part component. Each child has a classroom setting and a water session every day, Monday through Thursday.
We're getting ready to start the swim.
Let's go have some fun. Both of you.
When you come close to these animals, you know you're close to something amazing and something extraordinary. Going down on the dock and seeing them was like, wow. When they come up close to you and look at you, it took my breath away. Dolphins are very different than any other experience that
Okay, everybody. This is a beautiful day.
Welcome, everybody, to Island Dolphin Care. Island Dolphin Care is a 5-day therapy program, and what we do is programs for kids with special needs and challenges, from Down syndrome to Asperger's, you name it, we've seen it. We're working with up to 8 families a week in our program.